upside down.
Want it.
We took it to Armageddon and it's not ready. It's not ready.
It's a megidopistable and they don't want it. They say it's too controversial.
So
We can deal with the pistable.
So I'm selling peace. Nobody wants to buy. Not only that they don't want to buy it, they don't want to take it without money, for free, yeah. No charge. No charge, take it. Even this. But you know, a small bomb, they will pay you millions of dollars if you can make such a little thing that can kill many people. What is we are good at now? We are good now at killing masses, not one. In the early times, there was one man, 1-to-1 killing. One man killing, shooting one. Then they began 2, 3, 4. Now we want, with one small bomb, to kill many thousands. This is our genius mind. This is how we are civilized today. This is how we call ourselves the 21st century progressive people. All this. Look what is happening. Look what we are doing to each other. We are master killers.
Yeah.
But we are poor lovers. Very poor. Very poor in love. We don't know what is love. We know how to hate. We know how to revenge. We know how to kill the other person. But to love the other person is impossible. What is happening to the world today? Is this the climax that humanity arrived? Top? Is this the top? I think it is the bottom. I think we did not go up, we went down. It looks like the old man, the savage, was much more civilized. We are more savage than the ancient human beings.
Tribal people.
Yeah. Do you think this is everybody, or you think this is the power system and the leadership and the
support, the money, the corruption, the mafia leaders, the Bush who wants to control the world?
Yeah,
these are his ideals, his teachings. This is what makes people. Get them, kill them, That's the language of the 21st century. From the President of the United States, the highest, the superpower, which should tell us how could we behave in this world as a big brother. Kill, go, send bombs, aeroplanes.
He said we're going to smoke them out.
Smoke them out, like, you know, you smoke snakes from their, you know what is smoke out? We used to make smoke to bring the snakes out of their holes. So every hiding person, smoke them out.
That's what I think it comes from.
The human being is less than a snake. He's reduced to an animal. Or hunting, or shooting. The Israelis are hunting the Palestinians from the Apache. This is what we are good at. I'm not saying that the Palestinians are not killing. Of course, suicide bombs are terrible.
Yeah.
But look what is happening. Now, anyhow, these are wrong and these are wrong. Where are the right people? Where are the people to stand up and say, this is wrong?
Well, a lot of people stand up, but they have no power.
They're powerless. All of us are powerless.
Yeah.
So how does this, all of us, get more power or focus the spirit?
Not to be silent, even if you are not here, to speak it out. Yell, shout. Somebody will hear. If they don't hear, somebody else will hear. I don't know where. I don't know where he's sitting. So we have to continue. In spite of all what is happening, in spite of all what we are seeing. What worries me is that the whole world seeing us as Palestinian and Israelis killing each other, and nobody is coming to say, kids, don't play, don't, that's dangerous. Where are the big people? Where are the parents? Where are the wise people? Where are the thinkers? The United States, Mr. Bush does not want to send peacekeeping troops. You know what does it mean?
Or even observers.
What does it mean? It means go on, kill yourself.
Yeah, kill each other.
What is the intelligence? Why couldn't anybody understand that? What he means by that is, I don't care. You can continue to kill. No, I don't want to send. But Mr. Bush, why don't you want to send here? You sent to Kosovo. You were quick. You sent to Iraq. You sent 500,000 American troops to Iraq. Iraq made the biggest crime in the world. It occupied Kuwait. What a crime, as if Iraq is the only one which occupied another country. Believe me, my brother, the American people, if they don't step in now and begin stopping all this, that has a disastrous effect on the American people. Because
Yes, we feel it.
if the Jews do not stop what is happening here, it's going to have a disaster on the Jewish people.
Yes, we see it.
I want to tell you, what happened in Jenin is not my problem. It's a Jewish problem. Jews must say that what their army did, you know what they did?
Massacre.
Ooh, horrible. Massacres are simple compared. Destroyed homes over the people, still are people alive with children. More worse. They closed a whole village for 21 days. No water, no electricity, no milk for children. Suppose his father is a criminal. Let us suppose. How would you punish a whole people? Where did this happen? In the name of what? In the name of Judaism? Is this Judaism? I know some other Judaism. I know the Bible. I study the Bible. Does the Bible say so? In the name of what? A whole house on the people? They smashed wounded people in the street. The tanks, the Israeli tanks, ran over them. I'm not telling you stories. Believe me, it's not me who created all this. I hope you heard some. In the name of what? In the name of the humane Israeli? In the name of Jewish people? The Jewish people, only yesterday they were yelling because of persecution. What are they doing now? Yesterday I was in a town in the West Bank. 1 year, 6 months, no one was allowed in, no one was allowed out. I said, you were in prison, a whole town in... I said, yes. What did you eat? Herbs. What about pregnant women? What about old people? What about sick people? I was in another town, 2 people came running after me. One needs dialysis. The other one is in cancer. I cried. I couldn't help them. You know, how did I leave them? My heart was broken. How could I leave this man begging for dialysis? Where can I take him? How can I carry him? I think the Palestinians begin to cry, where is God? It's 3 million Palestinians like this. It's not one Palestinian. It's not 10. It's not targeting their leaders. It's not arresting them. It's not destroying their homes over them. It's 3 million Palestinians are in prison. It's sad, it's bad, and it's mad. It must stop. It must stop. All of us must do something.
Well, we came to see and hear so we can go back and
Please.
speak and shout.
Every word, every voice is needed, because it will become like the Holocaust. Then you see, people will begin to say, we did not hear. This is what Europeans did when the Jews were massacred.
Oh,
So
we
it
don't
will
see-
happen now.
And it will come back on the Jews.
Oh yes, I don't want it. Believe me, I want to protect my Jewish brothers and sisters from having this fate. I told them, I don't want you to go in history like the Germans went. I don't want you this fate. You were victims. Only a few years ago, you were victims. I don't want you to go in history like the Germans went. Stop it, stop. To fight doesn't mean you have the right to kill children. Your security doesn't mean that you have to perish a whole nation in order to keep you. There will be no security for the Israelis if the Palestinians have no security. There will be no peace for the Israelis if the Palestinians have no peace. We have a simple proverb in Arabic: I cannot sleep well if my neighbor can't. I cannot sleep alone and leave my neighbor burning in his home. No, they are wrong. They are mistaken. What Sharon did, he told every Palestinian, now, I don't want you. I hate you. What I was ready 2 years ago for peace, forget about it. I'm dead anyhow. If we are going to die, we'll take you with us.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, I'm speaking with sadness. This is not something beautiful. It's not something happy. After what the Palestinians saw in this war of Sharon, he prevented his people from peace. Sharon, by his war.
When he went to the mosque with 1,000 soldiers.
Yes.
It's-
That was the first shot.
Yeah.
That was the beginning. Peace is finished now. The Palestinians say, no more.
Peace.
We tried 10 years. We accepted all the dictations that you dictated over us in Oslo. Oslo was wrong. We knew that. Oslo was wrong. It was not something enough to give the Palestinian people. But we said, let's hope that something good. Sharon
It's a
didn't
step
like that.
that might lead to another step that might lead to
It
another.
might gradually, by time, we will forget our wounds and get over our pain. Time will make you ready and so on. He said, I don't like Oslo. I want to bury Oslo. Killing Rabin. What is killing Rabin? It's killing peace. Rabin is the founder of the state of Israel. He is the founder of the 1967 war which occupied the West Bank. Rabin is their God. And they killed him. Do you need more to understand? If they killed their God, who created them, who gave them the West Bank? It's Rabin. He was the chief army, or whatever you call him. He said, no, we don't want you. We killed him. Why did they kill him? Because they don't want peace. They want the land. And I tell them in Hebrew, you are mistaken. You are making the Adamah, the land, more important than the Adam, the man. That's your mistake. You are not making any value for human beings. 400, 500 Israeli Jews were killed in vain. Useless killing by this coming to the mosque. Now they could have been living. Only 1 year, 7 months ago, I saw Israeli Jews in Jenin, eating, drinking, buying, shopping. Nobody even thought about touching them. This will not come back, unfortunately. He killed our hope for peace. This man, this crazy man. Believe me, I cannot understand how George W. Bush can agree with this man. I don't know. The whole world.
He calls him a man of peace.
He is humiliating humanity. He is making despise of humanity. He's despising humanity. he's making fun of humanity. First of all, of himself. First of all, of himself. To see what he did in Jenin and to say that this is man of peace. So what is the devil? I don't understand.
We were in Megiddo and we saw some Jewish people from Canada. And at the end, they were going into the water tunnel, and we say, well, we are here with Megiddo Peace Project. They say, oh, if you want to talk about peace, then you should go to the Palestinians. Because most of them believe that it's the Palestinians' fault that there is no peace. That's
All of
really
them.
the Jewish mind.
All of it.
They say they attack us in 48, they attack us in... They give you all those dates, which I don't know.
They attacked
But
us in 48, they attacked us in
Which is the
56.
opposite.
I know.
They
I said-
attacked the Palestinians.
They attacked us
Yeah.
in 67, they attacked us in
73
73 and 82.
and 82 and now and the Intifada 87 and this new Intifada. Listen,
And Julie was kind of saying, really? That's what they say. I said,
yeah.
They are convinced that it's that they were attacked. They don't know that they have destroyed 531 villages from Palestinians. Maybe they don't know
They
that.
know, they don't want to know. They know. Where are they living? They're living on the ruins of these villages. They still, the homes are where their cities are. The Palestinian homes are still.
Well, actually, what we heard is that most of the villages that were destroyed haven't been rebuilt as Israeli cities, but are just planted over or rubble.
Demolished.
And that if the refugees could come back
They won't know.
to their villages, 80% of the refugees could come back exactly to where they lived before, without disturbing any Israeli.
Sure.
And the villages could be rebuilt if people
Sure.
could agree to live together. And that's, I remember the first time we met, you said, I asked, a lot of problems, you know, how many people can live together, and so you said if the Israelis would be willing to live together, all the problems could be solved.
Exactly. Even the toughest problem could be solved. There is no such thing as no solution. It's no will. It's not the no solution. Doesn't mean. Well, to go back to the Israelis, I pity them because this is what they were taught. In fact, they were indoctrinated to repeat this, to repeat the lie. It's the same Nazi propaganda. When Goebbels, the Nazi propaganda minister, says, if you take a lie, throw it on the wall 2-3 times, it sticks. They repeated this to them day and night. The media, the press, the ministers, the politicians, and so on, telling them we were attacked and so on. They made it. Listen, I have a deeper philosophy. I think the Jews are the victims of Zionism. Zionism is using Jews as flesh for their tanks, for their greed, for their whatever. The Jewish people is a victim. And I am sorry for that. Where on earth such a lie can be repeated? When the Palestinians did not take any Jewish city, it is the Jews who took the Palestinian cities. Mm-hmm. The Palestinians did not occupy Jewish land. It's the Jews who occupied Palestinian lands. The Palestinians were here for thousands of years. The Jews came from outside, uprooted the Palestinians, threw them out. You don't need proofs. You don't need somebody to prove it for you. They are still in the refugee camps in Lebanon, in Syria. So one question.
What is it?
Peddler.
Oh, selling something.
Selling something. So you don't need evidence. Myself, I am one of those Palestinians whom the Israelis say that I declared war on them. They declared war on me, on my father. They came to my home. I can show you the Israeli army general who took my father as a prisoner in 1948. My father, I was young with my brothers and sisters. My mother was afraid when this army general knocked at the door. and said, Mr. Jabbour, you are under arrest. Like they are doing now in the refugee camps in Naples, in Jenin. Exactly, they are repeating the same thing. We were living in this place, in this house, in this town, in this country for thousands of years. This beautiful Israeli army general who's still alive, he's the one who came.
Who is that?
Dov Yeremia. Now he's our friend. Now he's a great man of peace. You see, that's such his life. I wrote.
He's your friend?
Oh yes.
And you remember when he came to your house?
Of course.
And
Of
so what
course.
kind of relationship?
He
is this? What does
changed.
say?
He changed from a man, whatever he was, into a man of peace within years. He saw. So I met him after 30 years of that event in 1978. 1948, when all this happened. 1978, I was attending an Arab-Jewish meeting, and with me was my son, who is called Jabbour, the same name as my father. We give our eldest children the name of our parents. So my father was Jabbour, and my son was Jabbour. And the man was sitting there without noticing. I did not notice. I didn't know him. He just disappeared. When my son stood up introducing himself, and he said, I'm Jabbour from Shafa I said, what? What are you talking, kid? You're kidding. Jabbour is an old man, and probably he's dead. He didn't relate the name and so on. I go, sir, how do you know that Jabbour is dead? My father wasn't dead yet. He was all the time wanting to see this army general who took him a prisoner, and he couldn't find him. He didn't know his name. He just disappeared. He said, I am the army commander who took your father in 1948, and he began to tell us. I said, where are you? Where have you been? My father is looking for you. He said, he's alive? I said, yes, he's alive. I took him the same day in my car, and we came to my home. My father was on his sick bed. Told him, Dad, this is the man. But you should see the two men. Everyone is relating his story from his own side. And I said, no, 21 days. Whoever was bleeding is gone now. He just wanted to kill as many Palestinians as possible. But the Israelis made a massacre, and they covered the place of the massacre, or carried the bodies somewhere to a far place and buried them under the ground. You know who found out this? God found it. Because how could you tell that there are dead bodies? Like in Kosovo, if you saw, the crows began to dig. They found bodies.
The what?
The crow. The crow.
Crows.
Oh.
Birds.
Oh, really?
Have to be to believe in God's justice. Who thought about it?
So they found the body?
They found the bodies. The bodies in Jenin now, they are under the rubble, under the ground. They flattened the whole refugee camp so that the body is smashed. Even if you want to bring him out, the Jews said, we did not kill him. The Palestinians killed him.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Oh, sure.
What?
They booby-trapped themselves.
They trapped themselves. They used them as human shields. We did not kill them. We did not kill any civilian. Where I read it right now? The defense minister. We did not kill any civilian. Of course. It is the Palestinians who attacked Tel Aviv. It's not the Israelis who occupied Jenin. So the world is, they believe that they can make the world
It's
blind.
incredible that they
Oh,
can go out with such lies.
Too many. Believe me, they succeeded. They are so clever to put it in a way, and they have the tools, the media, the press all over the world, to repeat the same. So the world in Australia, they will hear what the Israelis are saying, New Zealand. And can you imagine this poor man in Jenin looking for the rubble after his shoes? Do you think he has an access to CNN to say any word?
No.
unfair, injustice. But the truth will come out. Doesn't help. In the end, the truth, like gold in fire. This is the only way. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. And I am not one-sided. I am not saying that to defend the Palestinians and to protect them. They made many mistakes. What I said, if the Palestinians are not angels, the Israelis are not saints either. I'm not defending the Palestinians, not at all. Doesn't help. I'm not blaming one side, because to blame it doesn't help. I don't want anyone to take sides, because taking sides doesn't help. Just we have to tell the truth. One day the Israelis will come out and say, why didn't you stop us from committing? Because the crimes are beginning to work against them. They will blame you, they will blame me, they will blame you. Why you didn't stop us? You saw all that. You didn't say one word. You didn't write an article. But I am saying this so that nobody will say, you didn't tell us. I'm going into all this, I'm taking this difficult path to satisfy my conscience. Because they cannot tell me you didn't say that. Mm-hmm. No, I'm saying, you might not like it. I know you don't like what I'm saying. And you are angry. Terry Larson, the United Nations representative, he made them angry. Now they are saying persona non grata, out. Why?
What did he say?
He said it was an atrocity.
You know why did he say that? He couldn't smell the stench of the bodies. What do you want him to see? That he's smelling a Paris perfume, a French perfume? The stench. Until today. So is he not a human being? No, they want to reduce him, not a human being. He's a human being.
And he said that it was an atrocity.
That's all. What's wrong about that? It's the real description of what he saw and smelled. Yeah. Why the bodies are smelling? Had you ever heard in the word that someone prevent you from burying the dead? I never heard that before.
I lived in Germany in 1948, 3 years after the war. And there's a town there near Stuttgart called Pforzheim, which was a jewelry center. And it was on the route between England and Munich. And every day the planes would come over to bomb Munich. And the sirens would go off in Pforzheim, but the planes always went over. So the people stopped paying attention to the sirens. And then one flight, they just dropped all their bombs on Pforzheim, completely destroyed the center of the city. When I was there 3 years later, as 12 years old, there was still rubble, there were still crosses, there was still smell in the street, that they couldn't ever clean it up.
Yes.
Now maybe, I assume now it's all
but
cleaned
here,
up, but that
the Israeli army, after finishing their job, they prevented the take-carers, how do you say? The
undertakers.
Undertaker.
Yeah.
They wanted to take the body, bury it. Said no. How could you explain this? What do you mean? Oh, I know why. You might not know. They want to hide the crime. They took the bodies. They took them to a mass grave somewhere. We'll find it. So that they can tell the world, we did not kill any civilian. We killed only 45 Palestinian fighters. They call them gunmen. Deception. Deception doesn't work. Doesn't pay off. Deception will appear. What happened in Jenin is a horror. It's a horror committed by, how I didn't want this to happen by the Jewish people. Now, I
You think
lived
they
all my
focus-
life.
They focused on Jenin because a lot of the suicide bomber came from Jenin.
This is what they say.
That's what they say.
This is
Why-
what
why-
they
Why
say.
do you think they picked Jenin? Why?
This is how the Israelis did from 1948 until
This is
by
like
the-
Deir Yassin.
There it's a second. It's not a second. It's a model. It's another 100 time. There you see. To first of all, revenge. Which I am sad that they have this ugly instinct of revenge. Revenge. Second, they want it to be a lesson to the others, as if. Unfortunately, Jenin is not the first massacre and is not the last. I don't know which number 100 or 200. Because still, there are some massacres which are not known. The world does not know that the Israelis buried the Egyptian prisoners alive
In the Sinai.
in Sinai. Okay, if I will continue,
They did?
uh,
That's why we found so many shoes.
yes, shoes.
They say that the people had run away, but where in the desert did they run away?
They ran away and they came after them and how do you call, with bullets, riddled them with bullets, and then brought their tractors and bulldozers, flattened the sand. Hundreds, thousands. Nobody knows the number.
I heard a little bit on the internet that I read from my email. There was a quote from Sharon from 1956. And I had read a quote from him that Amos Oz did an interview
Oh, yes.
after the Lebanon
Yeah.
War in '82, but this was from '56. And he said that not only would most important is to kill the women, because the women make
Who
more
gives
babies.
children?
And kill the women and kill the children and burn them and make them suffer before you burn them. And if I have to kill all of them, I would, because they are the danger, because they will continue the people. This is what he said in the '56 war.
A man of peace. He's
Yeah.
a man of peace.
And in 1982, what he said was that if I had to kill 1 million, all right, call me a war criminal, all right. Call me a Judeo-Nazi, all right. I'm here to do the dirty work of Zionism, and if this makes anti-Semitism in Europe, in America, fine. Let the Yids know the only place they would be safe is in Israel. This is what this man said.
Who would believe that? Who would believe these are the words of Sharon?
Well, it's hard to believe, except, you know, I see it and do I.
I know, I heard them, not only I saw
Yeah,
them.
you were here.
I was here.
And how can there not be how can it not that these words are sort of put out to identify what is the thinking of this man? Because he isn't the way all the Jewish people think.
This
Of
is
course
our
not.
crime now. This is our crime. The silence. Our silence is our crime. What we did, but today, is a crime of staying silent.
Too long.
We should yell, because if we want to save Jewish lives, we have to stop this man.
And how?
Have to stop.
People say that there is no opposition, there's no left, the peace movement is tiny. If there's a change, it would be to Bibi, who would be worse. He'd say he's
Yeah.
for transfer, he's for getting all the Arabs out altogether.
The thing that we are afraid, I tell you why not. Very simple. If the Germans did not succeed in the transfer, how could the Israelis? Somebody else tried the transfer. I said to the Israelis, make the trains ready, I will ride. But the driver has to pay the price later. Not the rider, the driver. No, we are not afraid, my brother. We lost fear. Sharon make us lose fear. if the Germans did not succeed. The Jewish people should be the first to know that you cannot end a whole people. I tell Mr. Sharon, my answer, if one Palestinian woman will remain and one Palestinian man, they will reproduce a Palestinian child. I guess more than one man will remain. How many do you think he can kill? 1 million, 2 million, 3 million Palestinians?
He said it
Four.
He said it would be a few bad pages in the history book, but it would be worth it because it would make Israel safe.
He is right. He is right. He is right. But my logic with him is very simple. I am a simple man. I tell him, Mr. Sharon, you are right. How many Palestinians can you kill? And can you answer my question? What if one Palestinian woman remains and if one Palestinian man remains? Do you have a guarantee that you will kill every Palestinian child like Herod, who killed every male to kill Jesus? Yet Jesus escaped to Egypt. So some Palestinian woman will infiltrate, we don't know where.
Yes, well, half the Palestinians are out of the country anyhow, so...
I don't know, there are Palestinians in Chile.
Yes.
Or in Australia.
And in America.
And in America. And in Macau. In Hong Kong.
So he's...
How is going to get them?
Well, he obviously won't. So,
Leave them there? More dangerous. They will make a Zionist movement going back to Jerusalem.
Yeah.
so Julie or Odile asked a soldier yesterday, I wish that this would be better for your children. And the soldier said, no, it will be the same. That it will be for always, this war. So that seems to be the mind of the Israelis. They're going to have to continue to
The
fight
mindset,
this.
yes.
And they say, well, how can the Palestinian not stop the attack on us, the terrorists?
Simple. Get out from Palestine. That's the address on the wall, clear. Withdraw from the occupied territories. The problem is that it's not only...
They say what you consider the occupied territories
is ours.
Is Tel Aviv.
Yes.
That's what they say withdraw means. And they say they take a little and then they take more.
But what if they don't withdraw? Do you think I will give up occupation of Tel Aviv? If they stay in Jenin, I will forget about Tel Aviv? On the contrary, because they are in Jenin, I think about Tel Aviv. If they get out of Tel Aviv, I might forget Jenin, I might forget for Tel Aviv. Quarrel. One kill another one. Always from thousands of years there is a process of peacemaking called sulha. The only difference between the peace which is today and the old sulha is that the peace of today does not end the problem. Sulha ends it because it is based on three main principles. And if the Israelis and the Palestinians do not make sulha, there will be no peace. Because this is the genuine way. Number one is you have to forgive. How can anyone make peace if he doesn't forgive? How can I make peace if I don't forgive you or you forgive me? So the first condition of peace is forgiveness. I have to forgive you. And if I am the evildoer, I must repent. I don't want to repent. So how do you make peace if I don't want to repent? How can I make peace if you do not forgive? So we need repentance and forgiveness. First, main conditions. The second condition, you might say, I don't understand that. We have to shake hands. Give me your hand. That's simple? No, it's not simple. It is the most important thing in the world. Without it, there will be no peace. Palestinians and Israelis must shake hands. If I am able to touch the body of my enemy, it means here I am clean. Because a lot of stuff is here. So, this third condition, the third principle, is to share a meal. If I can eat your meal, your food, and you can eat mine, it means here is clean. I want to, okay, I'm in peace, but don't touch me. I don't want to see you. I don't want to hear about you. Oh, bye-bye. This is not peace.
What we heard at Camp David was that Barak never actually talked to Arafat.
It's not only that he didn't talk to Arafat, he came with bad intentions. We never did a sulha, a peacemaking, when we felt or smelled there is a bad intention. It wouldn't work. 99.9% of the cases that we solved by sulha were not violated. I made a sulha a month ago with two families after 35 years of fighting. 35. Nobody was able because the conditions were not right. Now, after 35 of killing each other, 35 years, you go and see, they are loving each other from anew. That's sulha, nothing here. A month ago, if one from this family would meet the other from this family, they would kill each other. Now, they are visiting, inviting, attending weddings. Unbelievable. That's sulha. That's genuine peace. I don't know what to call it. Because it's in the heart. The piece of the government is a piece of paper. When you are angry, you tear it off. Let's go and eat and talk over the table.
There's a congressman in the United States from near where we live, Dennis Kucinich.
Yeah, yes, I should have talked to him last month because I was in the States.
Did you talk to him?
No, I tried. He gave me his cell number. I should talk to him
You should talk
about
to
the
him.
peace department.
Yeah, and why, he says 1% of the piece
Yeah.
of the war budget.
Do you have any touch with him?
Yes, well, we've talked with him.
Call him. I have his number somewhere here in the States.
We will. We'll make this.
Sure. Delegation of some American friends. This is the settlements. You see the Jewish settlements on top of the hill. This is how they blocked the village. You see the get out, and the Israelis were there. He was coming to bomb us. So execution without court. You know that he's going to bomb you, so you kill him.
How did they get out then?
They cannot get out. We brought them food. We brought them food. We bring them. But if the Israelis see them, they will shoot them. That's just.
When did your center start?
1978.
In this
24.
building?
Oh, we're not in a luxury to choose.
I have one.
You can have two. This is be kind in Arabic. A be kind pin in Arabic. Leaving and but mainly about 90% people stayed and the opposite and 10 left. You see, they listen. They listen to him.
city.
Yes, in the city. 10% remain. 10% only left. 90% remain.
Because of his good words.
It's good words and they trusted him, but in the beginning, the fear. So what makes them afraid is the fear. The Israelis were systematic. They knew when to choose, where to choose, and so on. It doesn't mean that they did not kill some of our people here. There were about 2-3 people killed in 1948. And in this village 10, and the other village 5, and so on. So they planted fear because the whole Zionist false fallacy is that we are a people with a land without a land, looking for a land without people. So they wanted to prove to the world that this land is empty. So they wanted the people to escape. Until today, in Jenin and everywhere, it's the end that you are afraid and you will escape. Most of the Palestinians learned the lesson from 1948. Nobody is going to live to escape. What I heard from Palestinians today, either we live above it or go under it. That's the slogan.
What is this? What's the slogan?
Either we live on the land or we are buried under the land, under the ground. So the fear, they planted fear. And most of the people were villagers. What is the Palestinian people? Villagers. We cultivated our land, agricultural. We planted our land, olives, and we were happy living. I still remember the area here where we crushed the wheat threshold.
The threshing floor.
Yeah, it's threshing floors, and we were happy. We didn't. They came from Europe. They were planning all this coming back. Without knowing, we did not know that Zionism, which started in Eastern Europe in the 18th century, in the 19th century, late 19th century, so that they planned everything as a European-minded people to come and to take over Palestine without us being so much sophisticated. Most of the people were simple, primitive. I see very few people were educated like my father.
They were wise, but they were not educated.
That's something else. I mean,
Yeah.
who came here? Educated European people from Poland, from Germany,
Yeah.
coming with
Industrial knowledge.
degrees in engineering, in history, in music, in professional things, and so on, compared to agrarian people. So that was a great. The whole, until today, the forces are unbalanced. We are not, it's not fair. It's not a fair.
We're at a different level of development
Exactly.
in
Exactly.
industrial.
And even in forces,
Yeah,
the
in
forces,
forces also.
it's unfair. It's totally unfair. Until today, the same unfair, unbalanced forces. So we lack the wise leaders from the very beginning, or much more correct, educated leaders to grasp what is happening, what is awaiting. One of the few leaders of Palestine who knew what was going to happen is the late my father. Out of his, he was French educated. I lost my French. We studied French in school. I lost my French, but before the British came in 1928,
You had French schools here.
French education.
Yeah.
This is a French influence country. We spoke French. I mean, my sisters still today speak French. My mother spoke Italian because she was a graduate of an Italian school. My father spoke French. My sisters spoke English and French. But I started French and then I lost it because by time, I studied French until 1948. But from that time on, I didn't use it. So Jabbour.
You speak English well.
Well, I love French.